recording, so you'll have to click the got it button to clear that thing out of your screen. And then we go. Upright seat, find your center line. Light little subtle bow of the head. Natural, comfortable breathing. Maybe as you're just comfortably breathing, your breath will move in the direction of longer, smoother, more complete. Do try to involve your nostrils, your nasal breathing, on inhale especially. And exhales can be out the nose or the mouth. The mouth often is good when we're doing anything exercise-based, or just in general, it helps to sort of get staleness out. The mouth is a larger aperture for that. But the nostrils on inhale, there's all these, almost like a breath conditioning factory going all the way through our sinuses and then down into our lungs, that if we're mouth breathing, we're doing ourselves a disservice. So in through the nose, through those sinus spaces into the lungs, and then out through the nose or the mouth, and then in through the nose again when you're ready. So continue a few cycles on your own. Bothering you? I'm using that tool there through my space, and then I'll turn it off. The outside air is very nice for me. Now that we've sort of set the meditation quality and the breathing, let's add our light movements here, these opening movements. Slide hands forward, drop the head gently round the back, slide the hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, gentle arch, and just continue that a few times, 4 times, 5 times, something like that. Remember, if you're feeling extra stiff in a particular shape, stay there a little bit extra and kind of intuitively wiggle and move, work some kinks out, and then change. So number of reps not as important as getting the actual cleanup taken care of. And let's settle to neutral. Rotations, turning, and counter turn. And remember, we're not trying to turn to our furthest distance, but just gentle liquid movement. And then we're back to neutral. Arms hang by your sides. Lean softly to the right. Left wrist floats up. Lean as that hand dives down. Other wrist floats up. Add to this, as you shift to this right side, lift your left foot a little bit off the floor, just loose. Lift the right foot. Loose leg, loose hip. And then right into the left and right wheel. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Make sure you let the hand that's going down come all the way under as this hand is going all the way over top. And then they change places. Left and right wheel. This is the forward wheel. And then the backwards wheel. Shifting buttock to buttock, right? Getting the lower back to loosen. We're loosening up shoulders, opening up these spaces. And both arms down. Shoulder blade circles. So again, what we were just doing was really just the arm joint, and the shoulder blade was moving a little bit, but now we want to focus on the shoulder blades as that moving part. So forward, up, back and down. And reverse, back and up, forward and down. And then this slightly difficult sort of cognitive exercise, right one goes forward and up as it's going back and down, the left one forward and up. Reverse. And fold at the elbows. Elbows come up, down, come around in front, and down. You guys are getting to see my dog Radley here. He just wandered in. Now he's wandering out. And then back, down, forward, up. Forward, down, back. Down, forward, up. And elbows out to the side. One above, one below. Hug. Elbows out to the side. Switch, which is above and below. Hug. Out. Out. And elbows down, forearms at parallel to the ground. Turn palms up and down. And open. Back to neutral, then elbows go away from the body and the hands come in. And then elbows come towards the body, hands go out. In. Out. And so this should, if done correctly, this creates a sort of lifted and opened quality. This induces a folding and a closing. So this, again, this term they use, shen fa, means body technique, that to try to move our chest, abdomen, and torso this way without this arm change. So you can turn that fan off now. That fan? Yeah. Right? Inducing this movement is best done like so. Now, hands stay out to the side, closing. So the hand is coming across and you're also turning and closing the body that way. And then opening, closing, open. And both cross, palms face down. Have your legs open out to the side and drop the arms down between and let them separate and have the hands internally rotated. And you got that closed position. Cross, raise up, you're still in the closed position, and then you open and slide down the sides. Up over, cross the other wrist, turn the palms down, hands fall between the legs and separate. Cross, raise up, slide down. There's a more complicated standing exercise that requires this movement be something that you feel very comfortable with. This sliding down in the open position, coming over, crossing, and falling down through that space. One more. And bring the hands back to neutral, fold, and circle these wrists. Reverse. Palms face forward, spread, gather, spread, gather, spread. Spread, stay spread, softly into a fist, open, and make it a Tai Chi fist, this soft cotton fist. So you don't clench, you just arrive in a fist, but there's air in there like a cloud. Soft cotton fist. And then bird beak, thumb to pinky. All three fingers drop the wrist down, unbend the wrist and bring it back. Bird beak, back. Bird beak. All this is fantastic for carpal tunnel, for arthritic issues, for strength of the hand, because the strength of the hand at opening jars, doors, other actions the hand needs is more about suppleness and pliability and coordination than it is about rigid strength. Now, the monkey paw, so right here, this joint, notice that fold. So if I point here, you notice I haven't bent any of these knuckles, but here there's a folding aspect of the hand, right? So find that joint, right? And so with the pinky ring in middle, we're going to fold at that joint and keep our fingers very long. So we only bend this joint. These are straight, right? And then these are like two chopsticks coming together. This is a little monkey paw, right? And bend the wrist. Now, it looks like, Karen, that you're bringing your fingers underneath like that. Is that true? Make sure you're not. Make sure you got that open. So it feels very open, right? And then down and extend here and then release. So the goal here is to do pinky ring, middle, and arrive, and then back. So this is for the forearm as well. And back. So the thumb gets involved too, right? Comes down into that position. So drop that thumb. And then back. Okay, now from here, draw in, push forward through the back of the wrist. And if you're getting any hand cramps or pain, just relax the hand and have this idea that you're just kind of gently gathering them towards each other. So it could be sort of this hard held position, or it could just be soft and loose. But this is that single whip position. So we're drawing in and pushing out through the back of the hand. Right? Loose as you need, wrists are folded. That's important. And then the hands gathered as much as feels okay. Back, forward, back, forward, back. Now from the back position, the arm stays coiled up and spring loaded like this, and you just open. So that's shoulder blades going towards each other, but notice I still have this loaded position in the arm, and then close it again. Open, close. Open, close. Open and stay open. Push out, draw in. Out, draw in. Out, draw in. Out. Now from the out position, come around to the front and out to the side. Around to the front, out to the side. Around to the front and in. Open, push out to the side and around. So now we stir up this little single whip position. Reverse, push forward. Forward. Shake it out. Legs, scoot back a little, feel very stable. Load, push, reload, set it down. Other leg, load, push, reload, down. Load and push, reload, down. Continue. Think of this again like a flushing, like a washing of the body. We're squeezing and then we're extending and sending the fluid through and then drawing back and compressing. And straighten right leg, point, flex, point, flex. So loosening up that tension at the ankle, foot, arch, and toes. Invert, evert, slightly in and out. Circles. Reverse. Bring it back down, other leg. Out, point and flex. Invert, evert, a little in, a little out with the foot. Circles. Other way. And down. Scoot forward, front edge of your chair. Legs very close together. Left leg, lift the ball of the foot, turn the foot out, the knee goes with the toe. Heel goes out, knee comes in. Toe out, knee out. Heel out, knee slightly in, and then finally toe out, hold. Walk it back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're back. 2 more. Swivel steps from the hip. Hold. And in. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more. And we're back. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. In. Once more. Both. 1, heels out, knees in. 2, toes out, knees out. 3, walk it in. 1, 2, 3, out. In. 1 more. Legs hip distance, forward fold. As you hinge, swivel on the hands so the elbows kind of point forward, the arm bones internally rotate. Then sit upright, arms to neutral, and lean back from the hips. And then forward, turning on the palms of the hands, elbows point forward, and back. 1 more. And step wider. Dragon takes a bow. Bowing between the legs, between the arms. Get a little more range there. And then up. And lean back. Dragon takes a bow. One more. Now, on this one, transition right into Dragon Stirs the Sea. So as you come back, tip to the right, bow to the right. As you're bowing, turn those arms into the dragon position, sweep across, and come back. So again, really think here, soft and slow, moving primarily from the hips, but being relaxed enough to allow that whole spinal column to gently roll around itself, each vertebra. The head and neck gently rolling. 1 more in that direction. Right, so this cultivation of softness and ease through movement. Switch directions. And also this experience that our body loves roundness, because that's what it's built on. And one of the big problems is we don't cultivate that round quality. And so we've got a lot of rust built up in areas that we're not using in their full way. Come back to neutral, right in the middle. Legs come closer to each other. Arms down alongside. Wings. Turn palms up. Reach up. Now from here, reach right hand higher than the left and think straight up, but the rest of your body should sort of softly side bend to allow that. And then relaxing that, you're back to perfectly vertical in the torso. And as you reach higher with the fingertips, the body slightly leans, which is very different than tipping the body side to side, which is what some people think I'm doing. But really, I'm reaching energetically through the arm and letting the body just allow that or comply to that. And then reaching and let the body comply to that desire to reach a little higher. And then reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. 1 more each. And then reach with both arms. Higher, 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 higher. Oh, and then soft, 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 soft. Loose, 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 easy. Arms forward. And again, so Robin, because I turn my body this way, I see that you are turning your body this way. I'm only turning because I'm trying to give you an angle to see what I'm doing.
I have to.
So you can be doing this straight forward, right? So I'm turning so you can see it. So I don't want to see you throwing yourself around, turning when you don't have to, right? Does that make sense?
I have to.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah. That's my furniture.
For space.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. Okay. So go ahead. Yeah. So now we're going forward, up. And when you get to about here, notice I haven't quite reached full vertical, but now start reaching up with that energy of up and over. So now you create a little bit of a back bend that isn't crunching your back, but is extending it, really expressing out through into almost a soft bow pose with the back. And then releasing arms forward, all the way down. Shogun, or closing gesture. Wings, palms up, fold over top, settle down, 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 down. This closes our seated portion. And this practice, in my opinion, should be done as a basic maintenance every single day. All the joints, especially with the Parkinson's, but really everybody who's aging in general, we're fighting against rust buildup, stagnation, brain disconnection from the body. So a practice like this turns everything on, moves everything through its round spaces. So again, doing something like this as your regular practice, that's when you start to see great benefit. All right. From seated position, bring the feet back a little bit. Fold at the hips, head, shoulders, and arms beyond your ankles, and then just rise. And let's stand up and sit down a few times. And then those Tai Chi squats where you don't sit in your chair. You sink, you let the back round open, the arms are loose, and then you push through the ground and stand up. The arms, because they're loose, they end up just hanging right where they should. And again, the arms staying loose, shoulders loose, means that when you do your squat, the arms hang down loosely as if to touch your toes. And then you rise back up. So that's that little squat. But it's not a power-based squat, even though it does build power. It's softening through movement, sliding through movement, sliding through pathways. Stay standing. From here, just a soft tip forward into your toes, back to neutral. And then remember, when you tip a little bit back into your heels, you don't lean back. You actually lean head and shoulders a little forward to counterbalance you. But when you tip forward, you can allow, like you can see my body, to be slightly on an incline forward. But when you go back, right, if you lean back, you put yourself at risk. So just find this little comfortable space within which you can softly rock forward and back, yet not lose your middle. Now, sinking chi, washing organs. So rock forward. The arms swing back as you rock back, and they swing back and open out to the sides up to about chest height, right? Then rock forward to the toes and let that like water flow out through to the fingertips, palms face up. Rock back and let the elbows soften and bend, the hands come back in as if through the mouth. Rock to the middle of your feet, hands settle down to the belly button, middle, and then do that squat. So notice your arms are bent here. As you sit the butt, let the arms soften all the way to long and straight, and then keep them long and straight as you stand back up, and you're back to this neutral position. Rock back to the heels, the arms swing. Toes, they cast out. Heels, the hands come in. Rock to the middle, the hands settle to the middle. Then the tail and the arms soften long as you sit for that squat. And you can think of this as an addition by subtraction exercise. So each round we're polishing out anywhere that we're doing extra. All of these movements from Qigong and Tai Chi can be done with hydraulics, with soft sort of water-based, liquid-based power. And usually we're stuck in some state of tension, especially with Parkinson's, right? So goal here is to smooth out the nervous system, smooth out the tissue so that it's just a soft, fluid vessel, fluid vehicle. And each one of these rounds helps with that. Addition by subtraction. So we're not adding on, we're letting go. And as easy as that is to say, it is actually quite profound when you start to feel it, because you go, oh yeah, I'm actually carrying around a big bag of bricks, and one by one, putting a brick down one by one till you're not carrying. Now, from here, let's go into our Qigong. So like we did when we were sitting, shift the weight to one side. Let's say your right leg, left wrist floats up, left foot is a little bit empty. Right hand reaches as if to touch the floor, and then switch. And then switch. So you're changing leg, you're getting up and down, coordinated, asymmetrical movement in the hands, but it's still relatively simple. Try to really feel how changing leg to leg can be done with passive relaxation, meaning you're letting yourself go down through that leg, and then you're letting yourself go down through that leg. Now the wheel, I'll turn slightly sideways so you can see the wheel. So like we did when we were sitting, and the real trick to this one is this path right here of the hand that's coming up, comes up as if to tickle the armpit, and then goes out, and then that happens on the other side. It comes up as if to tickle the armpit. All right, so that's a path we don't often make. And then as we clear that out, it's a quite an efficient way of getting our arm to move through space. And it's quite interesting to all of the joints and the tissues. It brings out, it's like flossing teeth, cleaning out plaque, tartar, stagnation. Now reversing that hand has to go in and under like you're tickling the armpit. And then as it goes down, this hand goes up, way out in front, and then retracts as this one goes way out in front. And you're still changing to one leg, changing to the other. Then we do what's called left and right pressing palm. Hand up high, flatten, press down. As you do that, this hand comes up like the opposite end of a scale. Then flatten this hand, press it down as the other hand softens, comes up like the other end of a scale. Pressing palm, pressing palm. Still just changing leg to whatever hand is going down, down, down. And notice here, Robin, if I turn sideways, notice how my hands for this one, we're back to staying very close to the body, right? Both hands are just rising and falling right next to the body. So we're finding that way through. And then falling leaf, the top hand turns palm up, falls like a falling leaf as the other hand rises. And then this top hand turns palm up, falls like a leaf as this one rises. Falling leaf. And again, if I turn sideways, you can see I'm staying pretty close to my body. So this doesn't have that wheeling gesture going way out or way back, right? It's just right inside this space. And we're creating real estate, opening up pathways of ease. So Tony, make sure you're getting all the way up and all the way down, and then all the way up and all the way down, and all the way up and all the way down. Turn that hand over, turn that palm up. Turn the top hand palm up and let it fall. All right, both hands down. Shogun, closing gesture. Down to the belly, navel. Arms come down alongside you. Fingertips touch. Each of the fingertips touch. Bring the hands up right at chest height, above the sternum, below the clavicle. Open. Out to the tips of the fingers, and then soften. Back to touch. Open. As you open, go into your right leg. So I'm going into my right, you go into your right, which should be opposite to what it looks like I'm doing. And then go into your left leg. Right leg, left leg. Real estate, opening, pulling the body open, and then letting it all close, because we're like a sponge. Our body likes to flush and pump and flow. So this hydraulic and pneumatic nature is what we're awakening. That's the upper level. Let's drop the hands just below the sternum, above the belly button. Open. Close. Open. Close. Flushing, pumping, buying real estate. When I first learned this little set of exercises, I remember thinking, this is what I've done all along my trainings, but I'm always like, what is this really doing? What is this really doing? But as I've learned it and trained it more, this is one of the main sets that my body tells me to do when I'm feeling stagnant, stuck through my scoliosis in my spine, when I'm feeling sort of just jammed up in the nervous system. This is one of those that really opens up that flow. Now drop the hands in front of the groin. Now, same idea, opening out, out, out. And at some point, the opening becomes a lifting, but it's doing that not because I'm lifting, but because I'm opening. So feel that. Feel that you're just opening, 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 and maybe they start to lift because you're opening, and then close. Make sure when you open, you go to your right, which is the opposite of what I'm doing, or it looks like the opposite. And then back to your left, which would be that way. And then go to your right, which is that way. Left. And so the reason for this right and left thing in certain exercises is because they say, the Taoists say, there's a flow of qi up the left, down the right, a sort of a cycle in the body, up the back and down the front, and up the left and down the right. So when we're opening, we're allowing that flow up the left, which is that way for you. And then when we're closing, we're allowing it to go down the right. Open and allow it up the left. Karen. And close to your left. It's also a cognitive exercise to see what I'm doing and be able to do sort of the opposite. Right, so you're switching between mirroring and not mirroring. And pause. Shogun. Settle to the middle. And arms come down. Now go back to mirroring. Your right arm forward, your left arm back, empty your left leg. Now change into your left leg, swing the arms in opposite directions. And then change to your right leg, swing. Swing. Emphasize down, letting the up be sort of like a buoyancy thing. So it's boom, and then there's a up, down, and the up happens. And get this sort of walking in place feel, changing. There's a sort of buoyant, almost like a buoy in the ocean, just kind of bobbing. And noticing your legs, the opportunity to not have stilts for legs, but to have a little bit of a springiness. cushion and a spring loadedness. Arms come back to neutral. Ring the temple bell. Turn. 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 Loose. Now, option if you're feeling somewhat balanced, see what I do here. When I turn this way, I swivel on the ball of this opposite foot. And then when I turn this way, I swivel on the ball of the foot. So now I'm allowing my leg bone in my hip socket to turn. I'm also allowing my hips to turn more, torso to turn more. So this is the more overt outer body version of this ringing temple bell. This can eventually get even wider so that you're almost in a lunge-like position sometimes. But if that throws your balance off, come back to a more comfortable position. And then once we've loosened up outer body, then bring yourself back to center, but keep turning, but keep your feet anchored again, and try to get a good amount of turn through the ankles, knees, hips, up through every vertebra of the spine, shoulder blades loose, arms loose. Again, just cleaning out rust. Slowly back to neutral. Bend elbows, hands come and touch the shoulders. Now, your hands are going to go out and then down. As they come down, sit the butt a little, allowing the knees to softly bend, and then the arms will come up a little behind, and then swing back up and come back to our starting position. Swing and up. Swing and up. Small movements, don't hurt your body. Let it feel soft. So don't go too far there, Robin. Notice that I'm not going all the way down to here, putting my back at risk. It's small. It's just a little bit, but it can look like a lot. One more. And arms down. Shogun. Settle, settle, settle. And Tai Chi. Standing sort of Tai Chi gunslinger. The joints are all open. We're allowing a sort of unhindered fluid quality through all the joints. Noticing that if you lock your knees and jam your back and hold your arms at your shoulders, it's a very different sensation than open knees, tail sort of sinking down softly, shoulders and chest loose and free, crown buoyant, that position. And then from this position, we then practice our Tai Chi moves. So rising hands, forward and up. Let them softly change so it's the fingertips ready to sort of trail behind as if you're painting with your fingertips. And then as if painting with the back of the hand up. And the hands change and as if painting with the fingertips. One more. Hands cradle. Crane flaps wings. When we're coming up, there's a slight internal rotated position. And then the sinking of the shoulders, arms, forearms, wrists, fingers, then has the arms slightly in an externally rotated position. And then slightly in that internally rotated position. And feel it from inside here, in the shoulder blade, in the back, that's really where the magic is happening. And what's happening outside here is just loose and free. So we're pumping, opening these interior spaces so that we feel more liquid, fluid, buoyant with our limbs. Now, from wings, turn right palm up, come over the top as the left hand crane wing sweep under. They come towards each other, middle top and bottom of a circle, and then go around the outsides of the circle to this wing position, and then turn left palm up, come over the top towards, it's called embracing the moon, around. Both hands down. Both hands up in front, turn the palms forwardish and push. Then the hands come around the backside, draw. Push. Now, important part with this push and draw is here, sometimes what people do is they draw like this. Notice the difference between this, which is not correct, and this. Notice how I'm letting my shoulder blades go back. I'm letting my elbows come back, right? So you're drawing past that angle, turning around, and then you have all that power to push from, right? Whereas if you're here, it's like everything's sort of frozen in this area. Whereas back and then push, and then draw, and then push, draw. We're washing our body, washing these spaces, moving the joints, moving the tissue, coursing the nervous system through its pathways. Now, just the left hand, push. Now, this is the little unique challenge here. Turn both palms. So don't forget this one. Yep. And then it's one push, one draw. And then simultaneous palm change, both of them. And then one push, one draw. One push, one draw. Push and draw. So Robin, pay attention to this point right here. Look where this hand is. So you got one out, one back, and then it's doop, and then back. And try to get really simple with that, in that this is very efficient, right? And it's effective. It's just easy, right? And so I know there's the dyskinesia thing, right, with the Parkinson's, that's got all this stuff happening. So that may be in the way. But what we're looking for in Tai Chi is the same thing you should be looking for in trying to move while dealing with Parkinson's, is nothing extra and relaxed and soft. And so this is a great place to find that little change. Change. Good. Both hands come back. And yeah. Loose arms should have some good chi flow out to the fingertips now, so they're not stiff and held against our body. So now as we shift to the right leg and turn from the waist, from the belly, the arms naturally could just float over yonder to that side. And then as you shift to your left leg and turn from your waist, the hands naturally just wash through the stream. And then you shift and turn and let them sweep across. Continue and get those little technical positionings of this palm facing this way, brush knee, this hand facing this way, sweep the leg. And remember, with each round, you're loosening up interior rigidity, so there's more buoyancy and looseness. So the arms start to go one, and then this one's trailing behind two. And then this one's going through a little earlier, and this one's following behind, but they're still connected. It's just a loose relationship. And then this will become the bear swirls the stream, as this outside hand goes around a far circle and naturally flows in close, and around and flows in close for brush knee. So now we're loose, and this naturally becomes the bear, snatches the low jumping fish, hand facing across, and then falls down into the water. And this buoyant arm sweeps across. Bear movements, sort of cumbersome, clumsy looking, but stable. a stable center, turning and casting your big old bear arm with the bear paw. Start moving up, grabbing mid fish, mid level, mid jumping fish to higher jumping fish. Just polishing these spaces, loose, long movements. Then the highest jumping fish, so it's kind of over the top and down, over the top and down. Now, stay here in your right leg. Right arm starts to come up. Now, a little more sophistication. Turn palm up, fold at the elbow. Now, this is like when we were pushing. This is loaded, ready for that. This hand is down here, ready for brush knee. Shift the left leg, turn a little bit left. Left hand sweeps across that little brush knee. Right hand does a little push. And then if you just allow that natural flow of the movement, right hand comes down in the water, left hand comes up and roll fold. Now we're coming back across, brush and push. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up, rolls and folds, brush and push. And brush and push. There's a change of leg, there's a turn of waist, and then there's the allowing of free movement in the upper body, and then change and a turn and a free flow. Change leg, turn waist, free flow through the fingertips. And remember, very important here, this arm, wing, roll, fold. So it's not down here and coming up here, it's free. It's got to have that flow through, that free space to move. One more, each side here. Now, as you come to your left leg, stay in your left leg. Right foot empty, step it a little bit behind you, toes turned out at 5 or 10 degrees, maybe 15. Shift the weight into the right leg like a spring-loaded chair. Sit through that right leg. Right hand settles down, bend your left elbow, pointing fingertips up, and just have that left foot empty so it floats out in front and touches the floor. Bring that left foot back, heels touching that foot out at about 10, 15 degrees. Now change the weight. Left hand starts to descend. Right elbow bends, fingertips point to the sky. Right foot being empty, you can step out and touch empty, right? So again, we're here. We're not here. We want to be in the back leg with this front foot empty. Then we bring that foot back. Nothing changes in the hands. But then as we change the weight into the right leg, the hands change and that left foot gets free to step out in front. When the left foot comes back, nothing changes in the hands. But then as we change the weight, that's where that change happens. So this is for the brain as much as anything. Controlling, you're stepping this right foot back with no body weight. It's empty. Then there's a change. And the foot comes out. Now add to this. This is where you might want your countertop or a wall or something for your hand. But try to lift the foot and put it down. If your body weight were in that foot and you tried to lift, you'd have to lean back to do it, right? So this is a proof of concept. Are you truly empty? Can you lift and lower? And if you can, then maybe you can lift all the way up and down. And switching, bring that left foot back, change into the left leg, left hand down, right hand up, toes touch. Now, a little bit of a lift or a higher lift. Again, if you need to, put your hand on a wall, right? This would be a good thing to practice while you're waiting for your tea to boil, right? Or something like that, countertop. Now let's flow this one. Right foot comes down, sets up for landing, and then change. Right hand down, left side up. Put the left foot down, nothing changes in the hands, and then shift, everything changes. Put the foot down, nothing changes. Shift, everything. down, chain, down, chain. Golden rooster stands on one leg. And wash your paws. So back to this basic movement. And now we shift to the right leg. Left hand sweeps the leg and rises up like vapor, turns into a cloud. This is called ward off. If I tip forward, you can see there's a lot of room, a lot of space here. So I'm not in here, but I'm also not straight. There's a round quality to that position. Body weight's in the right leg, right hand is in the water, right? So now we shift to the left leg, turn, cloud, lake. The cloud rains down, the lake turns to vapor and rises up. And then shift to the right leg, turn, cloud, lake, rain, vapor. So the same thing applies of change leg, turn from your middle, and then be relaxed through the arms so that they continue through their sort of poetic imagery movement of hands playing with clouds. Right? So there's a sort of sturdiness that we start to cultivate in the legs where we're not being sloppy with our movement. We're keeping our nice vertical integrity. But when we do that and add the idea of hydraulics and softness and looseness and chi, then all of a sudden the movement can look very loose, very free. But yet it's not sloppy. There's integrity underlying it. And that's that integrity you want to be cultivating. But often people with good physical integrity are too stiff, too stuck. So we're trying to find that balance. Let's add a little extra challenge. As you come to your right leg, left foot should be empty. Bring it in as your hands change and step it back out without any weight, and then shift. And then as the hands change, bring that foot in and back out without any weight in it. Change. As hands go through their little change, the foot comes in and out. Loose, free. And last one here. And then we'll finish with sweeping the hands, bear wash paws. Now we're going to do this full circle where the hands come up. And then as you shift and turn, they come over the top and down. Shift, turn, the hands sweep over and up. Over the top of the circle, and they come down. Keep your physical central integrity, but feel loose. Free. The double hand Hunyuan circle. And reverse. Swing, rises up, over the top, down. Then we're going to draw the bow. So from here, swing back to this first direction, come up to here, keep your right hand where it is, shift into your left leg, draw the bow. So this right foot is empty, and then reach it back all the way across, and then draw the bow. All the way across, and draw the bow. And swing those hands down, over to the other side, up, draw the bow. Both hands come down. Wash your paws. Back to neutral. 3 times Sing Chi wash organs to finish. That's that first exercise we did. Shogun. Seal. Right over top of the belly button. And thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day and weekend. If there are any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and let me know.